Hey, it is Friday, June 21st, 2024, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps, where we as a collective, small business owners, precisely mostly martial arts school owners, try to figure out this thing called life. We want to be successful emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, and of course, financially. Why open a business that you can't scale and monetize to fulfill your version of success? And so we come here as a collective and you bring your questions to the table. Sometimes we'll have topics, but make no mistake, I think the success of anybody's life, not only in business, is the ability to be fluid. The ability to be fluid, right? That's like Bruce Lee said, be like water, my friend. When in a cup, become a cup. When in a bowl, become a bowl. It's when I suffer from a fixed mindset that things become stagnant. And if you think about stagnant water, what good is it? You can't drink it. You can't irrigate with it. It becomes toxic, right? Because it attracts mosquitoes and stuff. So I want to be mindful of that, what my purpose is each and every week when I come here to serve you. Often I'll talk out loud just to ground myself. And I think for me, it's really powerful. Makes my wife crazy sometimes because that's who I am. That's who I am. Sometimes to be able to tell you about it holds me accountable. And that's even more powerful. The level of accountability that comes with being a level 5 leader, that comes with leading by example, that comes with getting stuff done. When you have an accountability partner, or in this case, I'm accountable to the industry in my own personal values, right? So that's who I am, and this is what it's about, man. As you come aboard, say hi. Bob Poole, Goals Martial Arts. Conrad, Respect Martial Arts. What's happening? Good people who I wish great success all the time. As you come aboard, say hi. Let us know that you're here, and then later on you can go watch it at YouTube and say, look at me, I'm famous. There I am. That Success Never Sleeps. I think we have one of the longest running shows, Marco, that are out there, and I'm so grateful to be able to continue to be relevant and impact the martial arts industry. Monique, what's up, Miss Monique? Brian Jordan, hey, Brian, best to Dakota. That's how I associate you, Brian Dakota. So let's thank our sponsors. Who do we got? We have none other than Tusaw, right? Tusaw, who designed some of the best uniforms and equipment for the Olympians. Though you'll see their quality uniforms at the upcoming Olympics in Paris, which it's pretty phenomenal. I've known that family since the 90s. My father was one of their first clients, and we continue to have a relationship with Tusaw and purchase uniforms and belts and things of that nature. Market Muscles, Stephen and Reinstein and I we're in cahoots. We're working on, he's bringing his websites to the dance industry, the dance studio owners. So I've been watching lots of episodes of Dance Moms. I've been going down that rabbit hole of research because we're going to stand side by side on stage in Las Vegas. I feel very blessed to do that. And we're going to open them up to the potential through education of what a quality website can do for their dance studio. It's the biggest convention that they have. So I'm really looking forward to doing that with Stephen. But I think that the cooler thing about that is they're now on version 4. And like any good software company, I mean, they're more than a website company. I call them a software company. There should always be some type of new version coming out. If they're not, I would probably run from that company. I would run, which leads me into my studio. They're launching version 2. Yeah, so they're around to version 2, as well as they moved into using Stripe. They're moving out of WePay, moving into Stripe, which is more universal. It's a broader platform. More people are accustomed to it. So again, people I love, people I work with, people I use. Kids Love Life Skills. We just about got all the bells and whistles on our rebuilt website and our store. We're moving to a subscription-based model. It's going to cost you $99 a month. That's it. And you are going to have access to all of our coloring sheets, instructor handouts, the Life Talks alone, to really position your school as a character development leader in your community. If you can do that, your parents will view you as an investment for their child's personal development and future. No longer do you have to hide behind that cliche question, oh, we teach more than kicking and punching. Well, how do you do that? What systematic quality, program do you have in place to facilitate that? And I think Kids Love Life Skills is the cat's meow. Man, that's old Marco. The cat's meow. And then, of course, LC Accounting, my sister Letitia, I love you. I share passionately how her disciplined bookkeeping methods have kept me on par, have kept me negotiate things like the pandemic, the mortgage crisis, different times. And that's going to happen with the business, the ebb and flow. I read today something that, Elon Musk has lost $465 million since he bought Twitter, which is now called X. So again, there's a huge learning curve, right? That's not his his area of expertise, but he's learning trial by fire. And that will happen in any business. There's the highs and the lows, there's the ups and the downs. And you will feel more confident if you have a quality bookkeeper in your back pocket helping you negotiate spaces like that. Again, these are all services I use, people I love, people I trust, and people I respect. Cool, cool, cool. What do we got coming up, Marco? It's Time Life Purpose, November 9th through 12th. Stay for 1 day, 2 days, 4 days. This is our 8th year in offering this event. It's really, for me, facilitating the 4-day experience that is magical. 4 days. Saturday, observe classes, see how everything I talk about, people go, wow, I can't believe it. It's really true, but it is. And how we run two schools with 1,000 students, little over 2 million a year, and what it takes to do just that. Dave Kovar, of course, he handles the second half of the day of training, where Dave Kovar will personally get us on the mat in his legendary instructors boot camp. Sunday, it's all about business, right? We are in the martial arts business. And that second component really makes a huge difference. Understanding systems, understanding marketing, understanding leadership, how to cultivate a team, all these things that are foundational to running a successful martial arts business. Monday, all personal development. That's right. You are the leader of the band. You have to lead by example. If your head's not right, your heart's not right, the ship doesn't go. And then, of course, Tuesday, Samon comes in. Samon helps us with wealth building. We have accountability partners. We strategize how we're going to take this 3 days of information and make it happen. We eat really good. We develop a lot of new friendships. We cry. We grow. But there's unlike anything like this in our industry. So I highly recommend invest in yourself. Block out those 4 days right now and get signed up for the event. Cool? All right. Our It's Time group mentoring has been underway. I love sharing these things because I do very few things in this industry that I think by choice, because it brings a lot of value. The It's Time group mentoring, my team and I here, as shown, help martial arts school owners do just that. It's not just marketing. It's not just systems. It's not just rotating curriculum. It's not just your brand. It's everything. So you have us, the 4 of us, working with you month in and month out to cultivate your version of success. And it's something I believe every small school owner can afford, and something you should invest in heavily. Cool? So what's it all about today? Q&A. And whoever has the most comments, puts the most questions in there today, we're going to give away, I don't know, Marco, tell Letitia, let's give away $100 worth of Kids Love Life Skills badges. There you go. $100 worth. Okay. So if you're a client of Kids Love Life Skills, you always need more focus badges, family badges, confident badges. So we're going to give that away at the end of today's show. So if you're here, begin by putting in your name, where you're tuning in from, and the name of your school. Cool. And I see a couple people already done there. James Walker. Now I'm going to start with James. James was an attendee at It's Time Live. He came to one of the events. Then he worked with me in Wisdom. And I'm very proud of James. One of the first things I encouraged him to do was move his school. I felt demographically, after I did a demographic study, that for the type of revenue he wants to generate, that area he was in did not support that vision. It's just like I say all the time, I can't sell air conditioners in Alaska. Well, James could never achieve his financial goals in that space. Well, at that time, it just wasn't feasible. But now it is. And I want to congratulate James of Resilient Martial Arts. He's moving to a location where I believe the average household income goes up by about incrementally, about 50%, sir. Something like that. So good day. It's a good day. And when James reached out to me, I love when things come to fruition, because it doesn't happen in my time sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't even happen in your time. But it will eventually happen if you don't give up and you keep chipping away at it. You keep working at it. This overnight sensation. It's just not true. There's a lot of things that go on, trial and error, failures, mistakes, successes, all those things that happen in order to be who and where you are today. So congratulations to James at Resilient Martial Arts. I can't wait for the move and planning that out. I think that's going to be powerful. Cool. So what questions do you have for me today? Put them in the comments, put them in the comments, put them in the comments. Sunjay, she loves the mentoring group. And we love you, Sunjay. You're a very kind soul. You know, when I used to watch you just at social media, you're a genuine person. And when we get people that are not just money centric, but you deserve to make a lot of money, but people that are kind and heartfelt, it just makes our work so much more inspiring and a gift to be able to work with you in our mentoring program, Sunjay. So one of the questions I got, you know, the standard ones that come up all the time is how do I grow my staff? How do I grow my staff? How do I grow my staff? Well, I think it's one based upon need, but two based upon vision. All right. So here we go. There was a time my discipline was I paid myself $30, $30, $3,000 a month is what I paid myself. Now that's very hard to live on in San Francisco, but I was renting a room in my sister's home for about $500 a month. I drove a car that I paid $800 for. I kid you not. And I was living on top ramen, literally. And the discipline was I will pay myself $3,000 a month until we break $1 million. That was it. Every cent I made went back into that company to grow it. And so at one point, me being the only teacher, like most of us start out, I was getting burnt out. I was doing 40 hours a week teaching. I was cleaning the school. And back then I didn't even have an auto scrubber. I would get down on my hands and knees at 9 o'clock, scrub that floor with wet towels and scrub brushes and dry it. And then take all the stuff to the laundromat the next day and wash it. And then repeat this because I understood the mat is our stage. The mat is where we make our money. The mat is where we create those Disney memorable experiences that people want to replicate again and again and again. I knew that. So I was doing 17-hour days, 7 days a week. And this went on for 7 years. But in there, I decided that, okay, if I'm not going to burn out and I can still continue to perform really well, I need to get someone to do front desk, hiring, firing, bookkeeping, kind of a everything person. And I found that with a woman named Ellen G. And her son was taking martial arts and she was at a company and then she was in between jobs. I took a credit card with a $50,000 limit. And I said to her, your salary is guaranteed for a year. You know, this was back in 2000 and I don't know, 3 or 4. And so based upon that, people laughed at me. They said, you are paying somebody more than you earn. And I said, I'm perfectly fine with that. Well, how can you be okay with that? You're the boss. You're the owner. I said, that's strictly ego. I know if this person takes all these things off my plate, they take all these things off the table, it will allow me to teach even better. It will allow me to continue to work on the marketing. It will allow me to work on my curriculum and systemize it. It will allow me to move it to rotating curriculum because none of those things were in place. None of them. I just learned about them and the value that they could offer to scale and grow my company. So, like anything, you have to make that investment. I used to be of the mindset, when we get to 200 students, I can pay you this. And when we get to 300 students, I can pay you this. It's the other way around. Pay somebody now the money they should be making, and they will get you to 200. They will get you to 300. Does that make sense? I know it does, right? And we've always done it backwards. So how do you grow staff? Take really good care of them. I know my guys are top tiered for what they're paid for in our industry. I am proud to do that. The cost of living in the Bay Area, San Francisco is high. It's one of the highest in the nations, but I am proud to do that. And I say it all the time. You want to have 100% of $100 or you want to have 20% of $200,000. Do the math, right? So number one is you got to pay people right. And don't base it upon a PE teacher or a kindergarten teacher. Please don't do that because what we do is very specialized. You know, those people, you know, those people that teach on the mat, it's very specialized. It's not easy. And if you want to get top tier dollar, I'm proud to say, Collectively, our team has over 150 years of martial arts training and experience. It's really hard to justify. Somebody asked me, how do you charge $259 a month? Right? You figure they come twice a week. That's what, $50 a class? Right? It's pretty high. Is that right? Eight times, what's that, 40, 35, somewhere in there. Anyways, it's pretty damn high, right? 259 is a lot. And it's because we have assistants that are 15, 16 years old, but the core team leading on the floor are adults, highly trained adults, experienced at what they do. And I think that's the real difference in that. And in return, this team has helped me grow, 2 schools to 1,000 students and the revenue that we generate. So I think those are the two things strategically that really made a big difference. I knew I needed to take money and invest it to grow this team instead of the other way around, waiting till they help grow the school, then offer them more money. And then second, empowerment, right? They're going to fail. They're going to make mistakes. Things are going to go wrong. But like Richard Branson said, if I take care of the team, they'll take care of the customers on Virgin Airlines. So writing the systems, understanding their personal goals outside of the school, training them, right? Don't throw them to the wolves. You're a black belt, go teach. That's what my father said. You're a black belt, go teach. I'm a black belt in martial arts. I'm a white belt in teaching. So to have a system in place where you strategically train your people, as I say, create a university within your school where people can go and learn and train and become better teachers, right? People tell me all the time, I train my team all the time. No, you're working out together. It's no different than a regular class. Methodically, what are you training them on? Last night, I had all my assistant instructors in Millbrae, and we were working on the stripes we're teaching in the next 2 weeks. That's all they need. So there's a red stripe. There's a red stripe 11 for year one. There's one for year two, year three, year four. That's all we train on. That's it. So they have the confidence to realistically fulfill their role. One of the things they're supposed to be able to do is to demonstrate that stripe at a level 10. So if we go over it and they know how to demonstrate it, at the minimum, they can do that. Next level was being able to hold the pads for those drills. Next level was, and on. But see, that empowerment makes a huge difference because if you're diminishing their self-worth and their confidence by throwing them to the wolves, because you didn't do the work, you didn't write the system for a warm up or stretch, you didn't write that thing, it's a terrible experience. Like we were working with one of our clients because they did the majority of the teaching. My first thing was get the warm up and the stretch off your plate. That way you can at least go to the bathroom in between class, get a drink of water, talk to parents, and reset so you can be badass in the next class as an instructor. That alone will make a huge difference. Right? And I'm getting older. There's certain kicks I can't kick that high anymore. Yesterday, I was teaching a year 4 class in sparring, and I took this one kid who throws this kick better than I ever could at this point. And I held, and he demonstrated that kick. His dad was all proud. He was like, yeah, and it was very cool. See? So you work with what you got. And that was the beautiful thing about that. So that's the next level, is make sure you have somebody in place that can demo those techniques, right? Because I get it. I'm 62. The mind says, jab. Hey, that freaking hand moved 5 seconds later. And it's okay. That humility makes me want to have even better curriculum. That humility makes me want to train this team at a higher level. That humility makes me allow everybody to be a star in the class. So that's the humility that comes with where I am today. So those are my thoughts on that. Yeah, $32 per class. Thank you. Thank you for that. And that's pretty damn good, right? That's really good. If you think about it, we charge $209 for once a week, right? That's the one that's almost $50 a class. You're coming once a week, 4 times a month. Think about that. That's good money. That's good money. Conrad, when marketing to moms looking for, put that question up for me, Marco. Let me get my glasses here. All right. When marketing to moms looking for martial arts training for their kids, what wording have you found works best to talk to their needs? Well, I think even in that message, I know I want to have a consistent message, Conrad, but I think the big thing I'm mindful of is what are their needs or pain points. I don't like the word pain points, But some of the more standard ones are, would you like your child to be a better listener? Instead of, we teach focus. Or fear-based, does your child have problems paying attention? Right? No, would you like your child to be a better listener? I put that in the subject line of an email and it got great results. Because if I'm a mom and I get an email that says, would you like your child to be a better listener? Every mom in the room is going to raise their hand if you ask that question. So I think the wording is really important, but also the yin to the yang of that, Conrad, is understanding culturally. I want to separate myself and answer that question. Why do I want to bring my 6-year-old child to you versus Joe's martial arts down the street? And if I say, we teach, or would you like your child to learn focus? And the guy down the street sings the same song, there's nothing that differentiates that. So again, it's much like rock and roll. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but stay with me. I was a musician for 25 years, had a record deal with Warner Brothers, did really, really well in the Philippines. It's 3 chords. 3 chords. That's it. That's it. Right? 3 chords. Right? A, D, E is a standard progression. But what makes the Rolling Stones different than Green Day makes Green Day different from freaking SZA makes SZA different from, Olivia Rodrigo makes it different from Taylor Swift, makes it different from, Maroon 5 is the way they play it. So it's the same thing here. It's the way they write the lyrics, but it's still fundamentally the same 3 chords, right? So it's the same thing here, Conrad. How can you say it in such a unique way? And the best way to do that is through your brand. Why do I want to bring my 6-year-old child to you? Because here at Respect Martial Arts, we define respect as treat people the way you want to be treated. And our goal through example is to treat these children so they feel valued, so they feel included. And through that, it helps cultivate their self-esteem. Ooh, you better write that one down, Conrad. So it's not only saying it unique, it's also fusing your brand into it. That's the difference. It really, really is. Think of Nike. Just do it. It's a rubber shoe. It's an athletic rubber shoe. No different than Reebok, no different than Puma, no different than Adidas, right? Essentially, it's a rubber shoe. But just do it became an iconic emotional connection, right? It's an emotional connection. And that's really what you're trying to do when you talk to these moms, Conrad, is create an emotional connection. So if I think about it, and this is cheating a little bit, you could even go into ChatGPT right now and ask him, right? Let me see. Tell me if I lose you, Marco. I'm going to open a tab really quick and I'm going to ask ChatGPT a question. Marco, am I still there? Am I still there? Am I still there? Tell me I'm still there. Am I still there? Everybody still see me? Put it in the comments. I'll say mom's top. Marco, am I still there? Okay, good. I'm still. Mom's top 10 growth needs for their 6-year-old child. Okay, let's see what this says. Emotional development, social skills, physical activity, cognitive development, creative expression, language skills, independence, moral understanding, nutritional awareness, and safety awareness, right? Pick any of those. We'll take safety awareness. Teach basic safety rules at home and in public. Encourage awareness of personal boundaries and stranger danger, right? Now, sure, that's right out of ChatGPT, but it gives me something to work with, Conrad. So let's go like this. Moms, studies have proven children that respect themselves, which equate to a high level of self-confidence, are more likely to stand up to a bully or wait, stay with me, or act in a safe way if confronted by a stranger. There you go. I mean, and that's just off the cuff. But see where I could infuse respect into that, right? Because they're going to say, why respect versus Joe martial arts? Why respect? That's what that comes down to. But if I just chat GPT that and leave it alone, then you're just grabbing data from everybody else is going to be using. And I see it all the freaking time now. It's pretty sad because I'll see martial artists do their own ads, their Facebook ads, and I'm going, I saw that at Chat GPT because I did the same freaking thing, but I would never leave an ad like that. I normally write this and then I'll put it in Chat GPT and ask, what am I missing? You know, am I identifying all the pain points that a mom with a 6-year-old kid needs? Things like that. And it's a conversation back and forth, but essentially it has to be rooted in your brand promise, Conrad, to the community that you serve. And there's so many other. There's 10 different pain points there, Conrad. 10. Social awareness. Okay. Physical activity. Okay. Emotional growth. Okay. And every one of those could become a social media post. But make sure you got the picture to back it up, right? Make sure you got the picture to back it up. And the kid should look respectful. They should look confident. The instructor should be behaving in a respectful manner to the child in that photo, on and on and on. Because if one thing's out of place, I question you, right? If you post an ad and the instructor's like this, pointing a finger at the kid while he's talking to him, there's no respect there. None. You see where I'm going with that? And that's often I watch people begin to cultivate their brand, right? And a lot of it's trial and error. I've posted things and taken them down, but they miss things, right? Something as simple. You got this great respectful photo, two people bowing to each other, which is synonymous with the martial arts. You see two people in uniforms bowing to each other, you automatically think respect. But in the background, two kids are kicking each other. The equipment rack is funky and messy, right? And you could tell that the school's not kept well. Huge miss. Huge miss. So I'm saying it's not the little things that matter when you cultivate these things. It's everything. And today with tools like AI, you can at least, I'm going to say, hit closer to the bullseye than not. And if anything, it'll help trigger. See, I just gave you 10 different ideas. Now the next step is write them. And you can even ask ChatGPT, write it based in a very respectful tone. And then whittle it down and make sure it fits your personal core values, right? Yeah, that's the next step I would have done. Okay, write me a social media post, ChatGPT, based upon physical activity for this child and make it rooted in respect. There you go. I mean, so the tools are there, but what I don't want to see happen, the yin to the yang of that, is you being lazy and off face value because you forgot to do your social media post that week, right? Out of convenience and being lazy, you post whatever ChatGPT says. That I do not recommend. I'm going to tell you why. Because Facebook will see it, Google will see it, all the different platforms will see it. That all this is the algorithms will see it's ChatGPT generated. And that doesn't show trust. That doesn't show authority. That doesn't show expertise, right? It just doesn't. And so over time, you're going to get dinged. You're going to watch your ranking drop because a lot of people do that. AI blogs already generated for you, AI photos, AI this, and it's smoke and mirrors. And you don't think Google knows that? It does. But when you can constantly update that website, Conrad, with new pictures and they look at it, okay, this isn't a stock photo. This is in respect martial arts. Okay, wow. He changed 20% of this copy from ChatGPT. It's written by him. Right. So those types of things I think add up. They always have for us. They always have for us. And I made that commitment, after being a songwriter and a poet. When I got into the martial arts industry, I knew one of the big components that needed to be there is to tell stories. Not with ego, not with narcissism. Don't talk about me. I'm not the hero of the story. The student is the hero of the story. But the mistake is we talk about how, and I won trophies at international. We talk about how good I am. No one cares. What they care is the impact you have on their child's life. And that's a whole nother subject. Cool. I hope that answers that question for you, Conrad. It's a lot of good stuff. So next question we have. Otherwise, I've got one for you. James, question. If number one, top 10 grand opening events, new students would be great through the exposures to go. Oh man, you ready? Okay, get out your pen and paper. So when it comes to a grand opening, I am not big on printed material. with in the age of digital, social media, all the different platforms. So, but Chris Pirelli of Dojo Muscle, I love Chris. I've done business with him forever and ever. Um, he was the first person that designed our retention postcards for Kids Love Life Skills, and Marco's redone them and revised them. But nonetheless, when I was sitting in Germany with Roland Osborne, we were on tour together, doing a bunch of seminars and stuff. We sat in a pub. Now, I'm not a drinker. I don't like to drink, but I drank a Jägermeister with him. A Jaeger. If I felt he's going to give me some of those gems. So the first thing he said, and this worked really well with both locations, we did direct mail pieces, James. Direct mail pieces. Not cheap, but in today's world now, if you get them done with someone like a Chris Pirelli, size is right, post office won't reject them. That's the number one mistake with printed. I watch people do their own printed. They're not set up correctly, and the post office rejects it. Number two, which is very neat, now with the post office, you can zero down to zip codes. So we used to sit here in the living room, my wife and I and the kids, and count these things, into the bundles. One zip code might be 900. Another zip code could be 836. Another zip code could be 1200. And we did that. So do a direct mail piece. Now, what's going to be in it? Number one, free food, James. They don't know you from Adam. They don't give a crap who you are yet. Free food, money, prizes. We gave away iPads. We gave away Visa gift cards. We gave away Trader Joe gift cards, all of those things. But we also, in order to win those things, and you got to the school, you had to enter our drawing. We use My Studio. How easy is to set up an event saying enter our drawing? Boom, they scan a QR code. You have their email. You have that. Make no mistake, an email list is still one way to market. I know people say email marketing's dead. It's just one way to market. And there are trends. Facebook ads are big, then they die, right? I was reading today because Elon Musk was in some big ads thing in Europe, telling people to come back to X after he told people to go F themselves last year, and all the major advertisers left Twitter when it turned to X. So now digital marketing since 2022, when it was way, way down, digital marketing's doubled again. So digital marketing is a platform. I think the mistake with digital marketing, because I do work with Kin Creative and I write scripts and I produce copy and then I work on videos with them and graphics, is that a lot of the stuff people doing out there is just horrible. Horrible. They have no idea of storytelling, of composition, or anything. None. So yeah, there's this increased ad spend right now, but I think that's going to diminish quickly because they won't get the results they would get with a good ad agency. Because if running your own ads, stay with me, if running your own ads is something you should be doing, why doesn't Nike do it? Why doesn't Apple do it? Why doesn't Disney do it? Why doesn't Walmart do it? On and on and on. Because it is not their forte. It is not their expertise. The challenge is martial arts schoolers don't have the money, nor do they budget to do it. And they don't have realistic expectations. They do not. So going back to the grand opening with the direct mail piece, 8 weeks out, 1 month out, and 2 weeks out. And it cost me, I don't know, I think I spent $5,000 maybe between get it printed and the postage and all that stuff. And we dripped it out that way. And of course, that thing was loaded with scan here for a free trial class, scan here for our special, which should always be 4 weeks in uniform for $99. You want a lot of foot traffic through that door. You really, really do. And then, of course, since you're moving the location, it is a little bit of a ways. What am I going to do for that, those people in your school that are flatly going to go, no, I'm not coming to the new school. It's too far away. It's inconvenient. What are you going to do with that, James? I should have something in place, right? Well, try us out special. I know this is what we've been charging you for every month, and I know you don't want to come back because you think it's too far away, right? I'll give you 1 month at this price, maybe half off, because you will have a handful of people, potentially, I don't know, that will simply say, I'm not going there. It's not convenient. Okay? So you want to mitigate that. And then on this thing, I had, things like streamers and fireworks because it was like a grand opening. Cheesy as heck, right? But my brand was still in there. Live your best life at the grand opening of One Martial Arts. Free food, right? Giving away an iPad, prizes, mayor cutting the ribbon. That is crucial. Marco did it when we did his grand opening. Pick Marco's brain. That's the last person I really worked with, Marco. And I was there. I was at his grand opening and I ran some games, and that was important too. You want to make sure on that mat, 15 minutes confidence building, 15 minutes dodgeball, 15 minutes demo team, 15 minutes women's self defense. Always we had something going on. 15 minutes of family time with the kids doing drills. Map that out. Map that out. Because that way you're exposing them to your culture and what you do. Right? And then give away stuff, t-shirts, hoodies to your existing members, gift cards. It just what attracts people if they don't know you. And those are the things that work really, really well. We had a taco truck outside from 11 to 1. You weren't there from 11 to 1, which were the prime hours. It was about a 4-hour event. Don't do anything longer than that. You'd rather have quality versus quantity, right? And that very focused, saturated time, a lot of people were there, especially during the food. Okay? And you don't have to go that way, James. Bring out a grill. Do hot dogs and hamburgers, right? Go to Costco. But the point being is that I do know free food attracts people. Free money, free prizes, free gift cards. That's what's going to attract Joe E. Public, who gets your direct mail piece in the mail and goes, oh, what is it? Oh, free food. What the heck's that? Right? They don't even care. You could be a nail salon. The point is they will come out. And that's important because you want to have a lot of people there. Go to your local TV station. There's always some public access TV station, James, that you can let know I'm a new business coming in. I'm going to be here. Maybe they'll cover it, right? One way to get exposure. Go to your Rotary Club, go to the Chamber of Commerce, sit there and talk to them, right? Yeah, the cannoli truck was awesome, Marco. I remember that. Let B2B know. I would go to every business in that new complex. Hi, how you doing? We're coming in, right? We'd love to support you. We have all these families, co-brand with them. It'd be nice, right? I'll throw your name on my flyer. You're welcome to offer a 10% discount, something like that. Anyone who's here at this event today, just stay only. If you go there, they'll give you a free, I don't know, Jamba Juice or something. Who knows? But B2B is important as well. Very important as well. And then, of course, any other dignitaries you can invite. School board, the head of the school board, a PTA president, all those types of things. You want to just get people involved. And we do that. Remember, we have the direct mail piece, boom, 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 right? Of course, within your own people, you could sit there and promote the tar out of it. Right? Do that through your My Studio push notifications, do that through an e-newsletter, do that through your social media posts, do that at your Google business page, do it as a pop-up. My Market Muscles website, I can do a pop-up. Moving, new location, grand opening, be there, food, games, da-da-da-da-da. That as well. Get some resilient martial arts tattoos. Have one of your students do a tattoo station. Put a little tattoo on their cheek with your really, really badass logo that I was part of. That really, really cool logo, James. That's a no-brainer. Do a coloring sheet station. Take all the coloring sheets, put them up, on a wall. You're going to pick 3 winners and give them each, $25 Roblox gift card. You want people there. Get some bubble machines. Put them outside. Put music outside. You can get a bouncy house? Get a bouncy house. All those types of things that are family friendly, kid friendly. They're going to get people there and want to stay there. Every kid wants a tattoo. Get a face painter. I'm sure you got 3 or 4 students got at least do something like paint, right? A cat or something on their cheek. We had one kid who could do balloons. All he could do was a sword. I don't care. A sword and a hot dog, right? A little dog thing. The point being is we had a balloon twister there. You have a mascot? Put him in a costume, right? Put him in a costume. Kung Fu Panda, whatever. You just want this place hopping. How about a balloon, James? Do some balloons, right? Do some balloons, get some helium tanks, give away balloons. All that stuff adds up. But the buzz you need to create, please use at least an 8-week advertising, promoting. Would I do a Google Facebook ad? Probably not. Probably not. Unless I could really create a custom audience that only hyper focuses on that zip code. Right? And it does it again and again and again and again. potentially. And those are just a few of the things. And of course, your demo team. My friend brought his demo team. I had our demo team. We both did demos. That was there, but there was always something going on in that school for the 4 hours. The mayor cutting the ribbon was beautiful for Marco. He can social media that thing out forever. He's got those great photos that he can use again and again and again and again. No brainer. No brainer. Cool. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many things you can do with that. And that could be a whole show within itself. And then, of course, look at all the comments that Marco's posting there using the Kids Love Life Skills tag. We did a lot of things, but, Marco and I thought about it and we planned it. So, I'm more than happy to help you, James. I'm more than happy to help you with that. Cool. Next question. What do we have? Man, this show's going by too fast. 2 top ways to run a reactivation campaign. The one we use every 6 months, and you say reactivation, they've quit, right? They've quit and they're no longer students. But people tend to disregard that. They think that relationship's dead and gone, right? Dead and gone. Heck, I had somebody walk in, who just came back to kickboxing 5 years later. Because we give you as much love out the door as we do in the door. We don't have to reactivate anything. It's just a continuation. We pick up where we left off, like a good friend. And I knew little things about them. They like to stand in this one corner of the room. They used to come with a friend, and I knew the friend's name. And last night she brought somebody new. So I don't want to look at it as reactivation, but one of the standard things I recommend, take your email list every 6 months and go, quick question in the subject line. I didn't come up with this. It's been around forever. Quick question. Well, quick question. What's the question? And they go to the email. Are you still interested in martial arts classes? They'll either say, opt me out, stop sending me stuff, or it might say, yeah, well, you know what? I was thinking of coming back. But in your case, I think what's beautiful about this, is you can tell them we're moving to a new location. And if they're already on your email list until they opt out, I would consider something, James, like a special for them, reactivation, right? Come on back to our new location. We missed you, right? Something like that. And have a reason, a CTA, that at least out of curiosity, they'll want to continue the relationship. And then, of course, I'd even add this one in, James, but you could do this through an email campaign, through MailChimp. Constant Contact is another one where you're telling the story. Here's the building, you holding up the key, right? With the for lease sign. Next one, the demolition. Next one, they're building out the bathroom. Next one, that. So make videos all along, showing the progress. And when did we open Millbrae? It's 10 years this May. So what would that be? 2024, 2014. Go look at my Facebook. I have tons of videos, tons of photos, all through the build out. There's a picture of me with the big old sign. There's tons of stuff like that. But again, creating the hype, creating the excitement leading up to the event. So going back to the reactivation, quick question is a fine one in the subject line, but we'd love to have you back. We've moved, check out our new location, anything that sparks curiosity. But none of that will happen if the relationship ended on a sour note. It just isn't, right? It just isn't. So again, you could put in a subject line, would you like to win an iPad? Sure. I mean, there's a million things you can do. I don't know your demographic. I don't know your audience really well to give you a definitive, but reactivation is just about getting to know you again. It really is. And the quick question one is one we use all the time. Cool. All right, man. What else do we got today? Any other questions? Okay, well, I started this show today talking about staff development, and I think the biggest thing for me today, if I want to look at why we are so successful, why I'm back to teaching 1 day a week after the pandemic, is the way I nurture the relationships. There's a great book. I've told everybody to read this one. Appreciative Inquiry. And it's a simple, very, very short book. And it's a national bestseller. But what it really taught me is everybody likes to be appreciated in a different way. Some people like public accolades. Some people like a monetary bonus. Some people like a kind word. Some people like you to be a good listener. Everybody's different in that level of appreciation. We used to do employee of the year, right? Up on the wall, like Costco and Home Depot. My team hated it. And nobody participated except one guy. Every year at our company dinner, he would get the award every year. And it was kind of a silent revolt. They were protesting that we don't want to do this. We don't. Because like teacher's pet, it's like favoritism. It's like we're competing against each other when we should be working together. Right? So we canned that after a while. Because for our culture, it didn't work. So the big thing for me today in that is just listening. Every Monday I meet with TJ for an hour, and it's very philosophical. It's, he comes to my home. I make him a latte. I have a small snack for him because he's getting ready to go teach right at Millbrae at 4 o'clock or whatever. And so it's very personal. He knows I prepare that latte for him. He knows that I set up a snack for him. So that sets the mood. It sets the scene. And then we get into very deep things, about the growth of the business. We talk about numbers. He shares with me his victories. He shares with me his challenges. So it's a much different mentoring. But on Thursday, him and his brother get on the mat with me for an hour. And we go over their next belt level. You with me? And then from there, TJ trains the teams and all that. I train the team in Millbrae, the teenagers, on Thursday night because we're building that bench. And I'm really good at doing that, right? I'm really good at doing that. Hey, Ralph, excellent martial arts from Switzerland. How blessed are we to have a martial arts school owner all the way from Switzerland? And I rave about Ralph. When he came to me, 60 students, right, Ralph? And what do you have, 220 now? And it didn't happen overnight. We ran into the pandemic and different things. But the one thing I'm going to praise Ralph on is he trusted me. We rebranded, his school to Excellent Martial Arts. He works on his curriculum. He works on his new student. He's constantly sending me things, of what he's working on. Because the core product we deliver is martial arts instruction. And if you're not constantly revisiting it, making it better, changing your class, we change our class schedule all the time. All the time. And we're always looking to better that core product because I believe organically, if I'm improving that product, and what is the improvement centered around? Age specific, skill level specific, empowering for the children, right? Super important. Anytime I hear a school owner say, well, the parent must understand. No, they don't. It's the other way around. We must understand who our demographic is, what are their needs, and positioning us as the person, the authority, the school, the company that can fulfill that. We are servants of the community. We provide a service. I was doing an ad for somebody and they were objected to saying, we look forward to serving your family. And I said, well, why? Why? And it's centered around I'm the master and, basically they're lucky to train with me. Some weird thing like that. I'm like, oh, okay. Wow. Ralph's at 232. Yay, Ralph. Yay, Ralph. From 68 to 232. Right? And that was very clear for Ralph. Right? He was a mechanic, if I'm correct. And he wants to do the majority of teaching and he wants a good life. He's able to take his family on vacations and everything. And the way it is there, things, you can close for a week and people are cool with it. Very cool, Ralph. Again, I remember those deep conversations, going through that other school, looking at things and something as basic as the waiting area. How do I redo this waiting area so it's functional, until you finally found a good place to move to, right? Yeah, so cool, Ralph. That's so cool. That's cool. I love success stories, but believe me, for every success story I have failures. But again, I'm going to say the reason it works so well with Ralph, because he does listen to me and he does the work. And if it doesn't work, I'm the first to say it doesn't work. We try something else. And then we try something else until we find that winning combination. It wasn't the first time. It took a while. But, Ralph now on his own, he doesn't even ask me 99% of the time. Ralph has been taught to fish. Ralph can fish and he goes out there and executes. James was saying that. when we spoke the other day. Well, all these things that you said to me are now coming to fruition. Yeah. I'm not for a quick fix. I'm not about instant gratification. It just does not work. I don't recommend it. It doesn't work. Please don't do it. You're in it for the long haul. You're in it for the long game. You're in it to build a legacy business. And I know what they say in the startup world: build it to sell. Everything we build to sell. Well, that might work for a software company if somebody like Google or Amazon or Meta or Apple want to buy you up, right? I get that. But you are not you are not that. Please don't behave that way, right? And in Ralph's case, like many people, they want to work their business, right, until they decide to retire. Nothing the matter with that. That's what we built America on, the small mom and pop business. And they criticize you, right, for wanting to run your business and teach and be in it. They criticize you. You should be working on your business, not in it. If you're on the mat teaching, you're a failure. That's silly. That's silly. I found myself on that mat. Being on that mat saved my life many a times. So I want to be on the mat a certain amount of time, but I enjoy the freedom I have today because of systems, because of staff training, because of the curriculum we've invested in, because of our character development, because, all of it, all of it, all of it. So I know I'm kind of beating that like a dead horse, Ralph, but you deserve it. Yeah, the farmer mindset, right, Jason? And all you guys should be preaching that to everybody. I was standing with Lorenzo in Las Vegas in an elevator talking to him, right? Kind of consulting him. And this guy looks at us and says, "Are you a farmer?" And I laughed. I said, "No, sir, but I am in many ways." He goes, "Well, I am a farmer. I grow strawberries. And I have 60% of my resources invested into those strawberries before I ever see a cent." He doesn't even see a return because he's rototilling the ground, fertilizing the dirt, planting the seeds. No crop to sell. It grows a little bit, no crop to sell, right? It takes how many months? Sometimes cycles. Blueberries take like 3 cycles. A walnut tree takes 7 years to get to maturation to have good walnuts. But once it produces, that walnut tree does it every year. You do nothing other than prune it, pesticides, whatever, fertilizer. You do nothing at that point. And that's the beautiful thing about that. That is the beautiful thing about that. So if you're willing to be a farmer instead of you see it, and they capitalize it. How many guys sit there? Guaranteed 30 students in 30 days. Guaranteed. We're going to increase your bottom line. Turnkey operation. It'll happen tomorrow. No, it doesn't. It's just not even in the ballpark. Not even in the ballpark. Yeah. Wow. A lot of comments today, a lot of questions, Marco. Who do we think is going to be the winner of $100? Letitia's going to love that, huh? $100 of Kids Love Life Skills product. Ooh. Or $100 off to get you started, right? It's all there. So as we wrap up today's show, I always say, and Marco knows this, I always say that it's going to be the last it's time. We're not going to do it again, right? I mean, I think like a professional athlete, you got to know when to let go. Right? You got to know when to let go. And as I move through my own personal life, with the kids growing up and pretty much being there for my kids and supporting their dreams of soccer and basketball, I asked myself, because personally, it's past a financial need. I can stop doing everything right now and just support my children. But it's moments like this, with people that I love. 5 more years. Yeah, 5 more years, 5 more years. People that I love. And then, but when I hear, Ralph, if you weren't successful, I'd doubt everything I do. James, if you didn't get this new place, I would doubt everything I do. Conrad, if you weren't still asking the real questions I know are going to grow your business, I don't know if I'd still be doing this. I don't. But, I think a big reason I'm here every Friday because Marco's there, right? See, it's things like that. All of that adds up. I'm accountable to you. I'm responsible to you. And that's because I'm a servant of the community. And I will continue to do this. Sunjay, is another person I just fallen in love with. And I can't wait till we help Sunjay get to where she needs to be. Marty and Beth Dunkerson. Oh, great people that deserve great success. But a lot of great people have challenges in business. That's part of the course. So we're here today and we'll continue to be. So what do we got coming up? It's Time Life Purpose. You know, anyone who's ever been there for 4 days, now's the time. Close shop, do what you got to do. 2025 is going to be a crazy year. I mean, everything with what's going on in the world between AI, the election, the political states all over the world, you're going to have to be equipped. So spend 4 days. Let's break it down. Let's go into our incubator for 4 days and really gear up and get ready to have an amazing 2025, right? And if you can't get away for 4 days, you need to get away for 4 days. Make the investment, do it now. The link is there. Marco will put it. You know, sign up for the 4 days. It changes your life. That's why I met Monique. That's where, you know, I met Jason. That's why I met Marco. That's why I met James. That's where I met Conrad. And I think about at that time, Conrad was struggling and he said, "Can I bring my daughter? We're a family from day one." I said, "Sure, bring Raven." And she hung out and had the best time. That's what we're about. That's what we're about. I'm going to toot that freaking horn because the relationships continue today, you know, many, many moons later. So you want to be at their purpose. Dave Kovar, Sam On, Adam Lodi, and who knows what other special guests we'll have for that event. Cool. And put the link in there for the Marco. And then our group mentoring, talk to Sunjay, talk to Beth and Marty, you know, talk to Marco and Jason and Monique. It's special. And it was a bit selfish. I just want to do something with Jason and Marco and Monique. They went to my wisdom program. They've been to my events. They went in, and they deserve it because to teach something is to learn it twice. So it benefits them. I get to hang out with them a little bit, and we're impacting the martial arts community. Take a look at that as well. Cool. Let's thank the sponsors. Jason, relationships. Yeah, everything's about a relationship. And that's why you hear me say that. I don't want trials. I don't want leads. I don't want trials. I don't want students. I want relationships. You have to forego the pomp and circumstance. You have to forego the 1999, right? The quick fix. You have to forego, if you sign up today, I'll waive the enrollment fee of $150. You have to forego all that crap because you're spending your time, resource, and money on bettering your martial arts curriculum, on bettering your team and paying them better. You're trusting that you're doing the right things internally, that you don't have to use cheap gimmicks like that. And you have to believe that consumer is educated. They've done their homework. That if and when they're ready, you've best positioned your business to do just that through storytelling, through your website, through the ambiance in your school, through your team, through everything. You know you're putting your best foot forward. So if and when they're ready, they're going to come to you for martial arts instruction. Cool? Think about that. All right. So thank you, everybody. Marco posted the links for It's Time Life Purpose. He posted it for our mentoring. It's Time Life Group Mentoring. So who gets $100 of badges today, sir? Who's going to get it, Marco? We had the most comments, the most questions, the most everything. Winner is James Walker again. Man, James Walker, you're unstoppable, bro. He's moving to a new location. He's going to get $100 worth of badges. Connect with Marco. He'll hook you up and he'll make that happen. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for being you. I appreciate each and every one of you. I encourage you, tell more people about us. Tell them what we do. Share it. Get them to YouTube, watch replays of the show, and spread the love. There's a lot of school owners out there that need us. They just don't know we're here, right? So make that happen. So thank you to all my sponsors, to SAW, Market Muscles, my studio, Kids Live Life Skills, LC Accounting. Check them out if you haven't done so already. I'm Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life.